Hava Nashira, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Hava Nashira. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira. Let us sing. Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira. Let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Hava Nashira. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira. Let us sing. Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira. Let us sing.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
How nice to get an escape from that heat outside and create our own warmth inside, and to turn from the sweltering to the calm, from the sunshine to the sunset, and welcome Shabbat. So we turn to pages 120 and 121, and we're so delighted to invite Eve Edmond to join us on the bima to kindle our lights of Shabbat. Eve, who makes the warmth of the week with her volunteering in our office, now makes the warmth of Shabbat by coming to our bima.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We rise as we turn the page to page 123. Eve, would you like to stand in the bima? We have a Kiddush cup just for you.
Beautiful.
There we go. We rise for the Kiddush to make this moment a sacred and joyful moment.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabat kodsho, me'ava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר לציית מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים.
And having welcomed Shabbat, we now turn one to another to greet each other and wish each other a good Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom. Exactly. There you go.
We continue turning to page 130, and we welcome Shabbat again in song.
לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. נריע, נריע לצור אישנו, נקדמה פניו בתודה. נריע, נריע לצור אישנו, מזבחות נריע לו. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. We continue singing a new song to God, page 131. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Adonai, Shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
And we turn a few pages to 138, where we find the Lecha Dodi to welcome, once again, I guess, we can welcome Shabbat 3, 4, or 5 times, and it's not Shabbat until we really make it Shabbat, I guess. So we have to keep doing that. We haven't done well enough welcoming Shabbat yet. Let's do it again. Lecha Dodi, we welcome Shabbat as the bride, as that symbol of purity, that white and blessed moment of Shabbos. I think when we finish Lecha Dodi, it must be Shabbos.
It must be.
Page 138.
Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat negavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat negavela. שרנו וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תדע. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבור עיני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, לפן שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We allow a little quiet and reflection as we turn to page 146 and return from the lively moment of welcoming Shabbat to the quiet moment of preparing to pray.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la,
Page 148. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time, and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv arvim. As we turn the page, we join together. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
So if you take a moment and you look at your Shabbat handout, your leaflet, at the very top, the part that you usually overlook, it says Temple Bethel, a community that embraces Jewish life, and then below that is the date. Today, July 27, 2018, is also, well, if you were outside last night, Susan and I took a walk. If you looked outside and you looked to, I guess, the east at around 8:15, 8:30 last night, what did you see? That magnificent full moon, the full moon of Av, which meant that when that sun set last night, it was the 15th day of the month of Av. And today, as it's now Shabbat, we've left the 15th day of Av behind, as now the 16th. But we all know the 9th day of Av, Tisha B'Av, the day last weekend that commemorated the destructions of our people. What many people may not know is that the Shabbat following, or 6 days following the 9th of Av, no matter how the calendar slices it, we get the 15th day of Av, the full moon of Av. Tu B'Av, because tu is Tet and Vav makes the U sound. Tet, though, has the numerical value of 9, Vav of 6, 9 and 6 together become 15. That's how we get Tu B'Shvat in the wintertime and Tu B'Av in the summer. But what's Tu B'Av? The rabbis taught that this is the day, and this is way before there was this other holiday in the middle of February, but this is the day when Jews celebrate love. The middle day of the month of Av, like the middle day in the month of February, are days in which love is celebrated. And especially if we recognize, again, that number embraced in 2. 2 is 15. Do a little gematria, a little Jewish math with me. Every Hebrew letter has a number value. Aleph 1, Bet 2, Gimel 3, Dalet 4, Hey 5. That's all you need to know. The word for love is ahava. Add up the value. Aleph is 1. Hey is 5. You get 6. Right? Vet is 2, 8. And another Hey at the end is 5. You get to 13. But if you add a bet right in front of ahava, a bet which means in, so you get in love, bet is 2, and 2 plus 13 is 15. And so the day that is the full moon of the month of Av is the day of romance in Jewish life. It's the day in which there is ba'ahava, in love. And so just because of that,
Careful of thorns, baby. Every rose has its thorn.
we only get to do that once a year.
That's right.
In Jewish life. And it fell on Shabbos today. And how nice to celebrate Tu B'Av. So for the rest of those of you who'd like to celebrate the moment of romance, a little bit later we're going to have a moment to celebrate anniversary blessings for those who are celebrating an anniversary in July. And for the rest of us, we can go and find flowers and share them with our beloved. Because sharing love one with another is the way that would make today into tomorrow. And that's the message of our prayer service. That's the message of the Micha Mocha. How do we get from today to tomorrow? How do we get from what was to what might be? How do we get from a present to a future? By taking the steps and walking in hope. And so we turn to page 158, where we find the Micha Mocha, our song of love and hope.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh nohatehi. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לבני משה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לבני משה ומרים. יאללה לילה 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 יאללה לילה לילה yalla lai lai la 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 yalla lai 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 yalla lai lai la 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 yalla lai 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 yai lai 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 say anu ve'ameru Adonai imloch leolam leolam va'ed וגלום יד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני. יאללה לי לה 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 יאללה לי לה לה יאללה לי לה 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 יאללה לי לה לה יאללה לי לה 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 יאללה לי לה לה גאל ישראל.
Pages 160 and 162. Hashkivenu, our prayer for the quiet of the evening, Vishamru, that we might keep Shabbat.
Vishamru, page 162. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לטותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל שבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים, ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לטובתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת
We would rise, we would turn to page 164 for the tefillah.
Adonai sevatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai sevatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. We continue through the end of the Amidah to page 181. When we concluded our prayers, you may be seated.
שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום 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 שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל 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 בכל עת ובכל שעה בכל עת ובכל שעה בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל המברך את עמו ישראל
There are always, at any time, those who are not well. It's just the flow of the generations, the turning of the seasons, that there are those who are ill and those recovering, and those facing matters and those following their matters. And so we share their lives and we share their prayers. And so we turn to this moment to ask the Holy One, the one who gives us life, to bring wellness in life to each who's facing this or that concern. And so as we turn to page 371 for the Misha Beirach, I would also invite, if any of you have one for whom your prayers for healing are being offered today, we invite you to rise and offer their names, and then we'll share our prayers together.
Sheila Weiss, Kendra Natalie Young, Tamar Davidson, Matt and Cyril Wade, Julie Taus,
Nadine Wilkerson, Lori Skull, Sandy Raskin.
For each, our prayer of healing.
Blessed are you, God, whose healing presence is with all those in need. Amen.
We turn back to page 362. Page 362 for our tour service. And Momentarily, we'll be taking the Torah out, and then we will be briefly coming about, and we will invite those of you who may have an anniversary in the month of July or a birthday in the month of July, be prepared. We're inviting you up for the Aliyah and for a moment to celebrate with you. Page 362, the Torah service.
אין כמוך ואלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך, מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. אב הרחמים, היטיבה ברצונך את ציון, תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים, כי לך לבד פתחנו, מלך אל רם ונישא, אדון עולמים. כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. אלוהינו גדול, אדוננו גדול שמו. גדלו לאדוני איתי, ונרוממה שמו יחדיו. לך אדוני הגדולה והגדולה והתפארת והנצח וההוד. כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, לך אדוני הממלכה ונתנשא לכל ראש. ישראל באור לחדות, ישראל באור לחדות. תורה אורה, תורה אורה, הללויה. תורה אורה, תורה אורה, הללויה, הללויה. תורה אורה, תורה אורה, הללויה. תורה אורה, תורה אורה, הללויה. ישראל, ישראל, באורייתא חד הוא. ישראל, ישראל, באורייתא חד הוא. תורה אורה, תורה אורה, הללויה. תורה אורה, תורה אורה, הללויה, הללויה. Hallelujah.
you'll find the Torah reading for this Shabbat in the little handout in the leaflet. Now, if you're savvy, and I know you are, you'll say, wait a second. This is the Shabbat that includes the 10 Commandments. It includes the Shema. It includes the Vahavta. We've got arguably the most recognized texts of Jewish life of the Torah in this week's Torah portion. And so we're reading from a completely different text. If you take a look, we selected a completely different text to look at, Savitz. I'm going to talk about it in just a moment after the Torah reading. So hold on to that text. Hold on to this little insert because we're going to need it. You're going to be tested on this in a moment. But yes, this week's Torah portion includes those signal texts of Jewish life. The 10 Commandments, a version thereof, not the common version, not the version which is on the breastplates in our Torah. That's the version from the book of Exodus. This is slightly different, a couple words are different. But of course, this text includes the Shema, which we already recited twice this evening. The central message of Jewish life, asserting the oneness of God and our relationship with that one God. Yet, the Torah is far richer than its symbols. And hence, tonight, I'm going to ask us to look at this text. It seems to be telling us in verse 17 to keep the commandments, the decrees, and the laws. And it seems to be a common theme, a common mantra of the book of Deuteronomy. But it's not so simple. It's not so simple. If it was so simple, we wouldn't need Deuteronomy to remind us of keeping the commandments and the laws again and again and again. And we wouldn't have copious texts asking the question, what are these laws? How are we supposed to observe them? We wouldn't have all of Jewish life and all of the disputes in Jewish life if keeping these commandments and following this text was so simple. But I haven't told you what we're really going to talk about. Hang on, there's still more coming in this text. So take a look at it. We're going to enjoy this text in a moment. And I want to kind of trigger some thinking about what else there is in this wonderful portion besides the 10 Commandments and the Shema. It's on the sheet, but I'm not going to give it all away. What I do want to do is I want to invite up anybody who has a wedding anniversary in this month of July, anybody who has a birthday in the month of July. This is your moment to come forward for a blessing of the Torah and a blessing upon yourselves.
Blessing. Oh, this isn't enough? Oh my God, it's our anniversary. It's so long ago already, I forgot. I forgot that this was our month for blessing. That's so funny.
Didn't you get Carrie's email?
You ready to give her a roast? And so we would invite. So, Sheila, what day is your birthday?
July 20th.
July 20th. What day is your anniversary?
July 3rd.
July 3rd. And your anniversary, lest you forget it?
July 4th.
July 4th. All right. Recognizing each of you in your signal special days, we would invite you to share the blessing over this moment.
1, 2, 3. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Va'ed. Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol hamim. V'natan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah. Lo tinasu et Adonai Elohechem kasher nesitem b'masa. Shamor tishmerun et mitzvot Adonai Elohechem. Ve'edo, what did I forget? There we go. Ve'edatav ve'chukotav asher tzivach. Ve'asita hayashar ve'hatov b'nei Adonai leman yitav lach uvata וירשת את הארץ הטובה אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותיך להדוף את כל אויביך מפניך כאשר דיבר אדוני. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נתן בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
And now we ask the Holy One to be with each one of you as you mark the moments of life, the moments that you share together and the moments that are yours uniquely. That this month should be a month of celebration among yourselves and your family, and before this, your congregational family. May the Holy One grant you only moments of reflection and joy, looking back on the years you've had together and looking back on the years of life, and moreover, looking forward to those years to come, that this might be a bridge from yesterday's to tomorrow's, and that you may only know blessing upon blessing, and we share together. Amen. And now we would invite everyone to rise as we give honor to the Torah.
וזאת almost וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לבני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה וזאת התורה אשר שם משה וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לבני בני ישראל לבני בני ישראל. וזאת התורה וזאת התורה וזאת התורה וזאת התורה וזאת התורה וזאת התורה וזאת התורה.
We reopen our prayer book to page 374. Page 374, and we invite, no, you have to open the ark. This is your moment, you have to open that ark. And we invite our honorees of birthday and anniversary to open our ark to give honor to the Torah. God's Torah is perfect, reviving the soul. God's teaching is sure, making wise. The simple God's precepts are right, delighting the mind. God's mitzvot are clear, giving light to the eye. God's word is pure, enduring forever. God's judgments are true, and altogether just.
It's high.
All
So, take out your texts, ladies and gentlemen. The text that I selected here, I studied, about 10 years ago. I don't know, maybe not that many. With one of my wonderful teachers, Rabbi Dr. Daniel Hartman of the Hartman Institute in Jerusalem, where I've studied over the years. And we studied 2 words in this paragraph for about 3 days. And I've never forgotten that. And I've realized that I've been studying those 2 words in this paragraph my entire life. And I dare say all of us could claim the same. The 2 words are in verse 18. Anybody want to guess? You only get one guess, so make it good. 2 words. Right and good. In Hebrew, Vasita hayashar v'atov. Do what is yashar, which is direct. Translated here is right. And tov, good. Okay. 3 days studying those 2 words. Actually, we probably spent about 2 weeks because it permeated everything we did, but for 3 days it was every single reflection. And Daniel kept going back and forth saying, hayashar v'hatov. So here's the question, especially in the context of this paragraph. What does this mean? What is v'asita yashar v'hatov? What does it mean to do that which is right and good? We're not going to do it for 3 days. Think about it. What's it talking about? What's it saying? I was in a room with 150 rabbis. It was never this quiet. In the Beit Midrash at the Shalom Hartman Institute. What is Hatov, Hayashar Hatov? Bob.
Maybe I guess part of the question is why both words need to be there. And so I guess I'm assuming that one maybe means appropriate for the situation, whereas the other one is more simply helpful.
Good.
More general.
So what Bob did was Bob dissected it, and he separated what we call hendiades. Hendiades are 2 words that elide and create one common meaning. Coming and going is, well, that's a chiasm. That's a different kind of structure of it, chiasmatic. But it's when you take 2 words and you create one common theme, Yashar v'atov could be 2 words that mean one thing, but he said let's separate them into 2 separate pieces, which means something which is appropriate and helpful, something which is proper and effective, if I might give synonyms. So that's one good way to look at it. Separate the words and come up with a message for each of them. Good. What else? Sandy.
Right is not always good.
So right may not always be good. So sometimes we have to endure the difficult.
Right may be hard.
Right may be difficult and may endure some kind of pain or problematic. Therefore, the right is the right, but the good could be something other. All right, so now you're giving us a completely different thought. Great, good. Keep going.
To not hurt somebody. To be good is to not hurt someone.
So to be a Boy Scout, to not hurt someone, to do no harm, as we know, is part of an oath in another milieu. So right and good, then, you're saying really mean, not as Bob said, 2 separate themes, but it really is one encompassing message, which is to not be hurtful. That could be good. And here's what I'm going to throw out to you before we take some more. If the text wanted to say, do what's appropriate and helpful, it could have said that. If it wanted to say, do not be harmful, it could have said that. If it wanted to say, do what is right, which may not always be good, or good, but may not always be, it could have said that. But it says this. So I'm stirring up a little bit. I'm setting up straw men to knock them down, as you can tell. But what else could it mean?
It's from a particular point of view. It's from God's point of view, what is right and good.
It could be. However, this is Moses. As you see in verse 16, we see that this is Moses speaking, and Moses says, don't test God. Don't play with God, because God might get short temper with you. So we know that this is Moses' point of view, because God is in the 3rd person there. So that's good. So it's a point of view. So it could be we could be saying, this is what Moses thinks what's Yashar v'atov. And I'm asking you what you think is Yashar v'atov, what is right and good. obviously yet that there's still something else on the table here. Sheila. If we do what's right, it should be good. However, you and I know that what might be right for me may not be right for you. And so, is there some common overarching always good or always right? This goes back, of course, to the Greek philosophers who asked this kind of question. Is there a universal ethic? And there may not be. Okay? We know that in some cultures, it may be right to sacrifice children in their day and time. And in today's day and time, it's anathema. Torah would make that verboten. So we have to be careful that when we universalize what may be right and what may be good, we have to be careful with that. I see there's a few hands. Elon. Jessica, go ahead.
Well, it says do what is right and good in the sight of Adonai, so that kind of narrows it down.
However, I purposely did not add the second phrase because I'm taking it out of the text. But yes, in the sight of God could narrow it down, but I'm not sure it helps us terribly because God's not here to voice an opinion.
Well, it does narrow it down, it makes it not relative.
Okay, so it does take it out of another context. We can't say do what's right and good in the Inca world where they did sacrifice children, but do what is right and good in God's prism. That's very, very good. Yet, it still leaves us with another problem, which is that we still can't answer the question. What can it come back?
So I see this as an and statement, hayashar vehatov. So it connects the two being together, and yashar is having direction as well. So I see it as perhaps having a direction toward goodness.
Okay, that's a nice idea.
Working toward
To do hayashar, though it does say the.
That's true.
So it says do, and the translation isn't authentic here. It just says do what is the right and the good is part of what Cantor Davidson was saying. But he's saying that it has got a direction towards goodness, so it's moving us somewhere. Let me throw out, unless there's anybody else who has an idea that's burning. Marty.
I want us to define what's right. What does the word right mean?
Okay.
And does it mean correct?
Well, here's what I would share with you. This is not about any of that stuff. No, not about any of that stuff. What this is saying is something much more profound than anything that we've all said here, because it incorporates it, but it adds something else. The Torah is presupposing something. It's presupposing that each one of us can determine what is hayashar v'hatov. It is worthless, crumbled up and thrown away. It's worthless to have this text if we can't determine what is hayashar v'hatov. If we do not have the capacity to make that determination for ourselves, then why would God command us to do so? Thus, in this little phrase here is a very compelling and powerful message. It says that God and Torah trusts us and trusts that we can make these determinations. It would be awful for God to give us 613 commandments today, but they can't keep them because they're not able. Why would God do that? Why would Torah do that? So this is giving us a profound message that we are capable, and more than that each one of us has an individual moral compass. And on top of that, even more so, that we might even use it. That's the message here. It's not about what is the right, which is the good. It's the fact that we, independent of turning to God, or turning to another ethicist, or turning to Moses, that each one of us can be the determiner of what's good and right in our own lives, in our own moments, and that we don't have to turn to text or somewhere else, and that we bear within ourselves the capacity to be the ethical compass of the world whenever we're standing up, whenever we're sitting down. That's the message here. When it says, Vesita hayashar v'hatov, it's saying you can figure it out. You know, it's not like the Boy Scout or mom and dad saying you should know the right from wrong. It's saying even more than that. It's saying that the world depends upon every one of our judgment at every one of our moments. And more than that we're up to it.
Is this the basis of free will?
I'm not sure it's the basis of free will. It's built upon the idea that we have that capacity. But the bottom line is we're not turning to God. We're not turning to Moses. We're not turning to each other. We're turning to ourselves. And that we have to be the ones that bear responsibility for what is good and right at every moment of life. That is a very powerful message. It says that we can. Hence, I'll argue that the Shema may be a central text of this Torah portion. The Ten Commandments may be a central text of this Torah portion. And the V'ahavta, V'asita yashar v'tov, go do it, may be the best one. Shabbat Shalom. I'm pleased to invite to come forward to give us a few words of greeting and some announcements, and probably a word about a golf tournament and a baseball game as well. We invite our Vice President, Andrea Lawrence. Thank you, Andrea, for all that you do. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Are you doing the trail?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe. Found it. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And I am very pleased to be representing the Board of Directors. Just one note, Sisterhood gift shop's only open for 10 minutes. Get your shopping done pretty quickly. And you're going to be on the clock. A lot of activities coming up, and I'm sure that everybody has read in the handout tonight. But just be aware that tomorrow there's a change of location for Tour on the Trails with Rabbi Cohn. It's going to be at Point Furman. Beautiful place, be cool. It's probably going to be in the, 70, not 112. So join them tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., but it is a change of location. And we have, what is it, next week? No, Sunday. Sunday, we have the first, yeah, I know, right? First concert under the stars with Cantor Lawn. And it's going to be at the home of Susan Taus. There's a few spots left, so please let Cantor Lawn know after services if you'd like to join, and he'll add you to the RSVP list. And the August concert will be on Saturday, August 18th. The location is at the home of Maura and James Lowenstein. Please make your reservations with Carrie in the office. We still have room for golfers for our Kindred Spirits Glen Lawrence golf tournament. It's going to be held on August 19th at Candlewood Country Club in Whittier. It's a 1 o'clock shotgun. There's lunch, there's dinner, there's a ball drop, if you're not a golfer, there's an opportunity to come for dinner and just have an awfully fun time. And you're golfing. I am. You're not golfing. I'm golfing. And I'd love to have everybody else join in, because it's a great opportunity to raise some money, not only for TBE, but for also LA Junior Golf, and the kids will be out in force, and they're fabulous. Pretty excited, because Sisterhood is planning a spring fundraiser cruise. It's going to be along the coastline of California from March 10th to the 17th. What does it say here? Cruise with your TBE friends aboard Princess Cruises. Early bird discounts are now available, so please contact both of the Barbaras, Barbara Matlis or Barbara Riker, and Barbara is right there. So get your reservations in early. I'm going, and I know it's going to be an awful lot of fun, so book it now. It's a great itinerary. You're going to go up the coast. You're going to go to Monterey, to San Francisco, come down to San Diego. You got to go out of the country to come back in, so it's Encinitas and back home. So LA to LA, it's going to be a wonderful week. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. We would reopen the prayer book to page 586. and we rise for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
So we remember those who've come before us. But if we look carefully at memory, we're not merely reflecting and reviewing a series of events in someone's life or moments that inspired or captured our attention. What we're really recalling when we do the work of memory is when those who came before us demonstrated Hayashar V'Hatov. We remember those moments when they inspired, the moments when they cared, the moments when they comforted, and the moments when they were comforted. We remember what we took away from them. Hayashar V'Hatov, the right and the good. Everything else falls by the wayside. What merits memory and what our memory actually captures is the Hayashar V'Hatov. May our glimpses and our reflections be filled with those blessings. And may we, in their names, be inspired to do the same and to build a legacy of the right and the good. Today we remember those lost at this time in years past, those for whom this is the season of a yahrzeit. And when we remember one dear to you, please rise, and then we'll join you to recite the Kaddish. Remembered are Rose Alport, Richard Bondi, Cindy Cohn, Maurice R. Commandy, Jean Kronfeld, Robert A. Felberg, Ann Fogel, Albert Julia, B. Godfrey, Shalom Gren, Morris Handelman, Stephanie Harvey, and Dick Hebert, Dorothy Hodgson, Abraham Jacobson, Warren H. Kelly, Dora Kramer, Sylvia Lampson, Manuel Leventhal, and Ronald Lifshutz, Percy Limer, Carl Lepathy, Maurice Lewis, Sigmund Loveman, David Malkless, Anna Martin, Linda McClanahan-Shulkin, May Meyer, Belle Miller, Susie Millman, Buena Moore, Heinrich Daniel Norton, Rose Papaport, Jack Pike, Stanley Rigler, Evelyn Rockoff, and Sidney Ruth, Ida B. Rosenberg, Sarah Sachs, Wanda Sayers, and Ralph Shack, Morris Schwartz, Nettie Schwartz, Mary Josephine Shannon, Joseph Solo, Joseph Tugendhaft, and Louis Weiss. Harry and Harry Weiner. Would there be additional names to be included tonight? Yes.
Ivan Hallage and Bonnie Shem.
Yes. We would rise as one congregation and continue on page 598 with the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divra chi'utei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayei chon u'v'yamei chon, u'v'chayei l'kol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach yolam olamei amayah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitumam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kedusha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tishbechata v'nechamata, de'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Usei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol ha'olam. Shabbat shalom.
All right.
Ceremonial cellophane wrapping.
All right. Go for it.
You got it.
Give it a rip. All right. Let's join together as best as we can. Come on over, Andrea. And let's all connect as best as we can. What happened? I did.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz Shabbat